Welcome CBC families for another video from the CBC Counseling team on college admissions, how it works, getting to know universities. Today we're lucky to be joined by Grace Ponciroli from Missouri S&T. And Grace, thanks for being here.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, Tim.
Maybe we could start by tell us a little bit about yourself and your role at the university.
Yeah, for sure. So my name is Grace Ponciroli, and I am the Senior Admissions Counselor at Missouri S&T. I am a regional rep, so I live here in the St. Louis area, and I work with students in St. Louis County and St. Louis City Schools, so I'm a little all over the place. The role of an admissions counselor is really to just answer student and parent questions about the university. I help out and I review applications, I help out with scholarships, and I also travel around to the different schools and do college visits, college fairs, just really spread the word about S&T and all the opportunities.
Yeah, so that's a good thing for our students and families to understand about what you offer to them. So you can kind of think of it a little bit, students, as Mr. Brockman and Mr. Batliner here at CBC are in charge of recruiting students and finding good fits for CBC, and hopefully the students end up here like you all did. And then that's kind of your job at S&T. Kind of
my job. Yep.
See if it's the right fit and help students understand whether or not that's the case or not.
Exactly.
So, most of our families have some idea of S&T, but what are some things you would generally share, kind of like elevator pitch sort of about S&T and who's a good fit for S&T?
Yeah, so Missouri S&T is in Rolla, Missouri, so it's about an hour and 45 minutes away. We are a mid-sized university, so we have about 7,000 undergrad students, so it's big enough that you're not going to know absolutely everybody, but small enough when you walk around campus you're going to see some familiar faces. Sure. We are most known for being an engineering school, but we have way more just to offer than just engineering, which is cool. We have over 200 student organizations, D2 athletics. Okay. We have 20 amazing design teams, which are different kind of engineering groups, and then they'll go and present their engineering project and compete against other schools. A student who might be interested in S&T, it might be ones that are interested in research. We're an R1 research institution, so they can take part in really interesting and cutting-edge research opportunities. Okay. Students who want those one-on-one connections with professors and different faculty members, and also students who want to feel like they are having that college experience away from home, but be close enough that they can come home.
They could get home for the weekend, yeah, definitely for Thanksgiving.
And 45 minutes, so it's a good little driving distance. So.
Yeah, bring the laundry home for a weekend, get a little assist. Okay, so we certainly at CBC have a heavy association with S&T with the engineering. Yeah. And having such an active STEM program here at CBC, that is a large portion of the interest at so can you talk a little bit more about the design teams? What are design teams, and how does that affect the experience?
Yeah, so design teams are extracurricular activities. So they are things that our students are signing up just for fun. We just built a whole brand new design center a few years ago, which houses all kinds of machines, materials, workspaces for students, and it's open 24 hours, which is kind of cool. But like I said, we have over 20 different design teams. So if a student is interested in Mars rover or concrete canoe, steel,
or aviation,
rocket, whatever, there's something for them. They are run like student businesses. So the upperclassmen will kind of take the underclassmen under their wing, teach them everything that they need to know. So then that way, when the upperclassmen leave, the underclassmen can then take their place and continue to teach everybody. But design teams, they're competition teams basically. So they will meet with their group at the beginning of the year. They will see the competition requirements. So if you're on Mars rover, it has to meet certain specific things to be entered into the competition, and then they'll take that your project at the end of the year and then compete it somewhere. Our Mars rover team's a good example. We just won the World Championship, so our design teams are really good at what they do.
Absolutely. Well, that's exciting to hear about. Let's talk about students who might be a good fit. You addressed it kind of from what S&T offers. What about in the admissions process? And this is something that if freshmen and sophomores are watching this video, you could kind of get a little bit of a preview. Juniors, it's starting to get a lot more real on the application process. Seniors, of course, have already heard back in many cases whether or not they were admitted. But can you give us just a little bit of an arc of the admissions process at S&T?
Yeah, so for freshmen and juniors, when you're starting in high school.
Freshmen and sophomores.
Freshmen and sophomores, sorry. Freshmen and sophomores. You want to make sure that you are taking challenging classes, but classes that you're able to succeed in. The most important thing is we want to make sure that you will be academically successful at S&T. We also want to make sure that students are getting involved in campus life or getting involved outside of campus. So joining clubs and activities, just kind of like forming you to be a well-rounded student and a well-rounded human. Juniors and seniors, the college process really starts to kick in and get real then. I always encourage students go visit wherever you might be interested in visiting.
Students will be applying to S&T in, does it open on July 1st or August 1st?
Yeah, it opens around the 4th of July for seniors.
And how long does it take, if a student applies on August 20th, when might they hear back from S&T? And are there different, is there early decision or early action or anything like that, or is it just rolling
It's
admissions?
just rolling admissions, so no early decision, no early action. Students should expect to hear an admission decision with us within 2 weeks. So the application opens around the 4th of July for our seniors. They can start applying then, like I said, 2 weeks typically to hear back from us. And then from there, they'll have a few different things on their checklist that they'll need to check off.
And then students will become, and families will become familiar in their process for how standardized testing connects to admissions. But S&T, I think like every university, the number one thing that's considered when you get an application from a student is you look at the transcript, right? You look, like you referred to the coursework they're taking, were they well challenged, but also earning strong grades in rigorous classes. And so you can kind of show, hey, I can handle high school at this level, therefore it bodes well for me for the college. After the transcript, what is evaluated at S&T, kind of numbers-wise, and how do tests work in, and are you all test optional?
Yes, so we are test optional. So we do super score. So if a student were to take that test more than once, we'll average those out and get that super score. If a student is unhappy with their test scores or they feel like their GPA is a stronger reflection on them as a student, they are more than welcome to apply test optional. When they apply test optional, they'll have to answer 3 short answer essay questions in lieu of those test scores. So I always tell students, just make sure that you are giving some good thought to those, using good grammar, just kind of crossing your T's and dotting your I's type of a thing. And then from there, with test optional, you'll be evaluated through a committee, and then that's how we will base your admission decision.
I see. And are there when you get a CBC transcript, and let's say a student might have some weighted classes on there, or 6 fine arts electives on there, how do you take the transcript and then evaluate it for admissions? Do you revise it?
We will look at the whole transcript, and typically we will evaluate it holistically. So we like to see, if you're going into engineering, we like to see a good GPA. We do take the cumulative weighted GPA. Okay,
cumulative weighted. So what your CBC GPA is, that's what S&T considers to be the GPA.
Yep, that's what we're considering. And then we like to see 4 units of math, science, 3 units of English, history, or social studies, and then 2 of fine arts. So those are our requirements to get in, and then we just make sure that that students are doing well in those classes.
And this leads to just another thing that you offer as an admissions rep. If a student, so test optional basically means you can opt in or out of disclosing your ACT or SAT score to the university in the admissions process. If you opt out of disclosing your scores with a test optional school, you're just sending your transcript and all of the rest of your application that communicates about who you are and what you offer to the school, and a decision is made in that way. But if a student is having a hard time, or a counselor, or a high school counselor, or a family's having a hard time, should we disclose? Is it going to affect our scholarships, or how does that affect things? Is that something that you consult with families on?
I do, yes. Yep.
Yeah.
I am more than happy to talk with the family, kind of off the record, and see like, hey, this would be your best course of action, or this is how you're going to get the most scholarship opportunities. Because that's what I want for you guys. I want to make sure that you guys are getting the most opportunities. So I am more than happy to help with that.
Are there? We recently had a college visit field trip to Missouri S&T, and we had a dozen or 15 students head down there, and it was absolutely wonderful. But for students to visit on their own, what's a smart way to be able to get down and have it be a beneficial visit to S&T?
So students can book their visits online. So MissouriSNT.com/visits. That's where they'll go, and they have a few different visit options. So they can do a daily visit, which is you get a tour of campus. You get to meet with a admissions rep, ask different questions. You can also kind of customize your tour to meet with a faculty member if you want to see the housing, dorms, if you want to see our design center, really anything, you can go and tour that. We also have group visit days, so like our discovery days or pick the mind, and those are a bigger group settings. You're going to be together with a large group of students, but you still get the tour, you still get to meet with the faculty member, but it's not as one-on-one as in daily visits. But those are two ways they can connect on campus.
And then I remember seeing, I think a year or two ago, that S&T made a top 10 list of value. It was some sort of analysis of tuition to outcome related to overall value at the school. And I know one thing I've heard a lot about S&T is job prospects. And again, I'm generally thinking the engineering side of things, but job prospects. And can you talk a little bit about recruiting on campus and how your students tend to do once they graduate?
Yeah, our students do very, very well for themselves. We do have the highest starting salary out of all the universities in Missouri, which is very cool.
Is there a number for that average starting salary?
I believe it's
Isn't it something like,
75,000 as a starting salary, which is awesome. So our students have the opportunity in the fall to participate in our college and career fair. Last year we had almost 400 different companies coming to S&T specifically looking to work with our students. All students are invited, so if you're a freshman, you can still go, and we encourage our students to go. And that's really how a lot of our students are making those network connections and getting those internships while they're still in school, as well as those job offers after they graduate. We have, I want to say it's like 97% of our students get jobs straight out of college, which is a great thing since, you know, I always tell students, I'm like, that's the reason you're going to college, is you're making this huge investment in yourself to make sure that you're going to get a great job, a good paying job, and you know, you can live your life after. So S&T is really passionate about that.
And one thing about that too, with the engineering in particular, you get a bachelor's in engineering, and you're good to go for a while, right? There could be reasons to get an advanced engineering degree, but a bachelor's, 4 years at S&T, and you're ready to have a really good job, average $75K plus. I think I've even heard higher numbers sometimes on that average.
It depends on which engineering field you're going into, but that's the average. So,
are there any hot types of engineering right now, or cool?
Cool, there's a lot of cool stuff going on. The most popular ones are going to be electrical, civil, mechanical, aerospace engineering is very, very popular now. And of course, anything to do with computers, computer engineering, computer sciences are very popular. But we also have some really unique engineering degrees. Nuclear engineering, we have a reactor on campus, so students can get like nuclear reactor certified and get that hands-on working experience while they're there. Petroleum engineering is really unique. Ceramics, we have mining engineering, we have an experimental mine on campus. So students in any field that they're going into are able to get that hands-on experience. But in engineering specifically, great labs, great facilities.
Just unbelievable facilities down there. It's a great place to visit. That's the best way to see any university, but there's a lot of new buildings going on at S&T, right? A lot of construction down there these days. So, new buildings are always exciting. And so we talked a little bit about the value. Like S&T, like every university, we recommend that our families fill out the FAFSA, the free application for federal student aid, and that's the best source for it. But there are also scholarships available of different kinds. So there's merit-based scholarships and need-based scholarships. When we talk about the FAFSA, we're talking pretty much about need-based scholarships, your family's financial situation as it relates to paying for college. And then also merit scholarships would be for things like your GPA, your ACT scores, your leadership, your service you've done. Maybe you can earn a merit scholarship. But is that part of the application process that they would be considered for scholarships, or is that a separate application in the process?
It's a little bit of both. So when students apply to S&T, they're automatically considered for an automatic merit-based scholarship. Those are our groundbreaker scholarships.
Based on GPA, maybe test score if you disclose it.
Yep. And then even our students who are test optional, they are still eligible for those groundbreaker scholarships.
Okay.
But it depends, or the committee awards it based on the answers to their short answer essay questions.
I see.
But they're still in the running for it. Outside of that, though, we have competitive scholarships that students are eligible to apply for. And we also have departmental different scholarships. Our scholarship universe is probably going to be the main source where students are going to find hundreds and hundreds of different scholarships.
And that's the same one that the Missouri system uses, right? Doesn't
Mizzou?
I believe so too.
Hundreds of scholarships out there. So.
Okay, all right, neat. Another good thing they can talk to you about.
Exactly.
I'm interested in S&T, not quite sure how we're going to pay for it. Let's, what should we be doing that's smart in the process?
Right.
And your counselor can help you find those answers as well too with any school. I know there's a couple of events on campus every year, and is St. Patty's Day is a big deal down there in Rolla, isn't it?
It's a whole weekend. Yep.
And then one other thing that I associate with Rolla is the male to female ratio, student ratio is always something to mention, right?
Yes. It's about 35% female. It's growing every single year.
35%. All right, but growing.
It's growing.
Okay.
It
Okay.
is growing.
Yeah. And that's a neat thing. Yeah. And St. Patty's Day is its own whole thing down there.
There's a parade and all kinds of good stuff.
Well, thanks. I feel like we've gotten to know S&T pretty well here, and they know families. You can follow up with questions with Grace or your CBC counselor anytime, and we'll help find the answers that you're looking for. What's something you might want a student to remember or a family to remember after watching this video? Maybe a takeaway sort of thing.
Yeah, I would say that just broadly speaking, the college search can be overwhelming. There are tons of different options out there, especially with engineering. There are a lot of great schools out there. But my number one tip is to go visit whatever school you're looking at. Go visit, ask all of the questions. There are no dumb questions. It's going to be your new home for the next 4 years. So you want to make sure that you feel comfortable there, that you could picture yourself being in, the academic buildings, that you could picture yourself living there, getting involved. So I would say go visit, ask all the questions. I'm here to help families. Counselors are here to help families as well. So just go visit and ask the questions.
Awesome. Okay. Well, thanks so much, Grace. Families, we will have Grace Ponciroli's contact information in the description of the YouTube video. And if you want to reach out to her directly or come up and meet with your counselor, of course, anytime to talk about these things. And it could even be something like you're interested in S&T and you want to learn more, but you want to know if you're interested in S&T, what are 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 other schools that you might be interested in learning more about? We can help with that. So thanks so much, Grace, for helping us get to know S&T a little bit better. It's great. And thanks a lot for joining us today, and we'll see you on the next video.